Happening now, police are asking for your help following a crash at a Falconer grocery store. Plus, what new state numbers have to say about our local hospital's COVID-19 vaccination rate.
Well, are you ready for potentially the first frost of the season? Yeah, we could be getting ready for it by this time tomorrow morning. We'll tell you about it next as the news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now. This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
An early morning fire destroyed a home in northeast Pennsylvania today. It was reported in the 5300 block of South Brickyard Road around 3 this morning. Volunteer fire departments arrived to find heavy smoke and went into what they are calling a defensive mode. The fire now currently under investigation. And of course, as we learn more, we will update our reporting at WNYNewsNow.com and in our free mobile app. Well, police in Falconer are asking for the public's help in identifying the driver of a vehicle involved in a hit-and-run crash this week. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Town of Ellicott police say the driver hit another vehicle at the Falconer Tops parking lot on South Work Street at around 10:47 in the morning yesterday. They released this photo of the man captured by security footage. The elderly man was wearing dark sneakers with blue pants and a black shirt with a gray jacket. Officers say a female passenger was also in the SUV at the time of the collision. Those with information are asked to call police at 716-665-7083. Well, New York State has launched a portal outlining how many hospital workers statewide are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The new portal outlines the percentages by county as well as specific hospitals. In Chautauqua County, 93% of staff are vaccinated, with 75% vaccinated in Cattaraugus County. For specific hospitals, UPMC Chautauqua here in Jamestown reports 97% of their staff are immunized, with Brooks TLC Hospital reporting 90% of their staff, Westfield Memorial 87%, and Olean General 75%. It's important to note, though, these figures are the number of hospital workers who are fully vaccinated as of September 28th. Currently, under the new vaccine mandate, hospital workers needed to either submit an exemption or be partially vaccinated by this week in order to keep their jobs. According to Governor Kathy Hochul, 92% of nursing home staff, 89% of adult care facilities, and 92% of hospital staff statewide are currently partially vaccinated, meaning they are in compliance with the mandate. Well, staying with COVID-19, booster shots of PFIZER's vaccine are now being given out to some Americans, but there's still some confusion on who's actually eligible and where to get the shot, whether you need a doctor's note, and more. Mandy Gaither has 5 things to know about boosters today.
Rolling up their sleeves for a third time.
Boosters will be free for everyone, regardless of immigration or health insurance status. No ID or insurance required.
The U.S. COVID-19 booster campaign is now underway. Who's eligible? The White House says up to 20 million Americans are 6 months out from their last dose of the PFIZER vaccine, and they can get it if they fall into one of 3 high-risk groups: those who are 65 or older, adults at high risk for severe COVID-19 like people with underlying health conditions, and adults at risk of frequent exposure such as frontline workers. Where and when can you get the third shot? It's available now at roughly 80,000 places across the U.S., including 40,000 local pharmacies.
COVID-19 vaccine booster doses so far are well tolerated.
Are there booster side effects? The CDC says reactions are similar to those from the second vaccine dose, most mild or moderate, and include muscle aches, fatigue, and headache. So when could others become eligible for a booster?
We will continue to evaluate data as it becomes available in real time and with urgency, and update our recommendations.
Do you need a doctor's note to get a booster? No, people are being asked to self-attest on whether they're eligible. And while officials say boosters are important to further protect Americans, their focus remains on the unvaccinated.
One thing we can't lose sight of is that it is still a top priority to get people first doses.
I'm Mandy Gaither.
Moderna has submitted booster data to the FDA. Johnson & Johnson still gathering data on their boosters. Dr. Anthony Fauci says he expects authorization will not take long for the shots and other vaccines. He says data on whether Americans can mix and match vaccines as booster shots should be available soon. The election is nearly a month away, and it's no secret that the city of Jamestown has experienced a litany of financial difficulties for various reasons over the past several years. In fact, Jamestown City Council at-large Democratic candidate Christina Cardinelli says that the municipal budget is one of the biggest areas that she's focused her attention on if elected. Cardinelli spoke with our Matt Hummel to discuss her campaign. She says that she'd specifically observe how the city chooses to spend its funding.
I want to make sure all of our funds, our expenses, and our spending is exactly where it should be. I would like to evaluate our budget seriously and make sure that there is no need for reallocation of funding, make sure that everything is where it should be, and make sure that it's appropriate.
The Democrat candidate furthers that in her discussions with various city departments, the fire department is one of those departments that is in need of more funding now. Cardinelli, in addition, says that equity remains a top goal she'll fight for as a candidate.
I like to focus on equity. I think that equity is very important for citizens and residents in Jamestown. And I run with the knowledge that equity is not the same as equality. Equity recognizes that not everyone is on equal footing to begin with. So sometimes you go out of your way to make accommodations, or you do your best to assist those who need it.
Cardinelli is running against 5 other at-large candidates, with the top 3 vote-getters earning a seat on the council. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we continue to cover our local, regional, and national news. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comment section down below. It's great to see Chuck. Good to see Wendy, Ryan, Sue, Bill, and Robin. Hopefully you're all having a great day. We appreciate you tuning in. And boy, oh boy, was it a chilly start to the day out there. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us live now with a look at our forecast. And I had the heat cranked in the car this morning, Dakota.
Yeah, I had to turn those heated seats on in the Jeep this morning when I was coming into work this morning. Yeah, get your behind a little nice warm. Yeah. 53 degrees right now at the Randolph Peaches and Cream Sky Camp. You can see that we do have the cloud cover in place, but we are going to see at least a few peaks of sunshine as we go throughout the afternoon. In fact, the satellite and radar composite basically does show you that the clouds, and notice how the clouds are building in mainly from the north. This has to do with high pressure that is built in to our north, and that helps to bring in that, or helps to funnel in that cooler air. So we're seeing a lot more cooler air filtering in from Canada. So it's going to be a chilly day today. 63 was the high yesterday, started the day. 45 here in the city, some spots cooler than that. We'll talk about the low temperatures a little bit later on. 89 and 29 are the record highs and lows. So through the afternoon, mostly cloudy, breaks of sunshine through the afternoon. Chance for a small sprinkle inland away from the lakes, but it's a very small chance. 56 on the hills. That's it, to 63 at the lake area water with a north wind. That's why it's going to stay cooler. Now, there is a potential that we could see some frost in limited areas across the valleys tomorrow morning. And then, is there any more rain in the forecast? We'll talk about it with that full 7-day forecast later on in the show. Justin?
Absolutely, Mr. Hunter. We'll see you back in 10 minutes' time. Definitely got to stay bundled up today. New York Attorney General Letitia James is dismissing former Governor Andrew Cuomo's repeated complaints that the sexual harassment investigation that led to his resignation was tainted by politics, saying the Democrat has never taken responsibility for his own conduct. James spoke to a civil group in New York City yesterday and defended the 165-page report that her office released back in August, finding that Cuomo sexually harassed at least 11 women. James contrasted her investigation with the one Cuomo himself ran while he was serving as Attorney General and investigated then Governor Eliot Spitzer, who resigned in 2008 in a prostitution scandal. She noted that her investigation started after Cuomo's office referred the allegations to her, which was led by outside investigators and took 5 months. Cuomo's investigation of Spitzer, James said, started without an outside referral and took 20 days and was handled within her office. She said her office plans to publicly release transcripts of the 179 people interviewed as part of the probe. And New York Governor Kathy Hochul has appointed Dr. Mary Bassett as the new Commissioner of Health for our state. Dr. Bassett's appointment comes nearly a week after Dr. Howard Zucker announced his resignation from the role. Dr. Zucker had faced widespread calls to resign over his involvement in the Cuomo administration's handling of COVID-19 in nursing homes. After the health commissioner, Dr. Zucker was in charge of the controversial nursing home policy in which some COVID patients were placed back into nursing home at the beginning of the pandemic in order to free up space at hospitals. Zucker was also tied in the scandal in which the Cuomo administration withheld the true number of COVID-19 deaths in those nursing homes. Dr. Bassett has more than 30 years of experience spanning academia, government, and nonprofit work. Previously, she served as the commissioner of the New York City Department of Health and Human Hygiene. Dr. Bassett's appointment is starting on December 1st. Coming up, a lot more to tell you about the calls from State Senator George Borrello aiming to help local farmers here in Chautauqua County. And later, a stinky bug causing some smelly problems for many in our region, why the fall season might be making it worse. Stay with us as WNY News Now.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Located along the Amish Trail, the Randolph Retail Company offers a variety of clothing, jewelry, and gifts for any occasion. Offering uptown merchandise at small-town prices, our locally owned business balances quality and value. With complimentary gift wrap here at the Randolph Retail Company, we pride ourselves in personal service. Check out our Facebook page or stop in today at 127 Main Street, Randolph, just a 20-minute drive from Jamestown.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
2 Pennsylvania state legislators have introduced a bill to legalize recreational marijuana for adult use. State Representatives Jake Wheatley and Dan Franklin, both Democrats from Allegheny County, are leading the effort. If passed, it would make it legal for anyone 21 and up to buy and use recreational marijuana in the Commonwealth. It would also have a provision to help those who have been convicted of marijuana-related charges. The legislation would also grant and create multiple grant programs benefiting small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the state. Those grants would be funded by revenue collected from marijuana sales taxes. Currently, 16 states, including New York, have legalized adult use of recreational marijuana. Well, New York Senator George Borrello is heightening his calls to the state labor wage board, asking the group to reject any changes to the Farm Labor Act overtime threshold. The senator spoke this week during a press conference at Torrey Farms in Elba. Borrello says that the overtime threshold, which took effect in January 2020, is putting hardworking farm families out of business. Specifically, he's concerned with the newly created Farm Wage Board, who's expected to recommend lowering the threshold from 60 hours to 40 hours per week, a move he says local farmers cannot afford.
If you put our farmers out of business here in New York that are following sustainable practices, that treat their animals humanely, that treat their farm workers like gold, if you put them out of business, New York State, the great state of New York, is going to rely on food from other states and other countries. And look what that did in the pandemic. Look at how fragile our food supply chain really is.
He's noting there the supply chain disruptions that impacted availability of many food products early on in the pandemic, saying they were an indication that the state not only needs to preserve the availability of local sourced farm products, but expand it. Well, there is less than 24 hours to go before a U.S. government shutdown. Lawmakers are also facing an uncertain timeline over a key vote on the infrastructure package today. Our Washington correspondent Matt Knadler with the details.
Senate Democrats are working on a short-term spending bill that would fund the government through December 3rd and avoid a government shutdown Thursday at midnight. They have dropped the proposed debt ceiling increase in order to gain Republican support and reach the required 60 votes for it to pass.
We're not asking for Republicans to support raising the debt ceiling.
About whether Republicans would support a clean continuation of funding, the answer is there'd be a lot of Republican votes for that.
The bill, known as a continuing resolution in Congress, would then have to go back to the U.S. House, where it passed along party lines last week.
Democrats control the United States House of Representatives, the United States Senate, and the White House. There's absolutely no reason why we should have a government shutdown on Thursday.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is still pledging to hold a key vote on the $1.2 trillion infrastructure package on Thursday, despite pushback from some members of the Progressive Caucus who want an agreement on the $3.5 trillion social safety net bill first.
Things are very fluid right now, but I feel confident that we will be able to pass both.
A small number of Republicans are expected to support that infrastructure package, but it's not a large enough number to offset the number of Democrats who right now could be opposed to it.
That $1.2 trillion bill I'm very supportive of, and I look forward to doing my part to encourage my colleagues on the Republican side to support that.
In Washington, Matt Knadler reporting.
Matt, thank you. Additional funding is available to help those in Chautauqua County who fell behind on their utility bills for heating their home this winter. New York State announced $150 million in heating utility assistance, which has been allocated to help low-income households who fell behind on their bills during the pandemic. The funding is specifically designed for those who qualify for HEAP, but for residents that did not receive other utility assistance from New York's Emergency Rental Assistance Program. State leaders report that around 83,000 HEAP recipients fell behind on their utility bills, with each household owing around $1,300. Those interested in applying are asked to call the Chautauqua County Department of Social Services at 716-753-4385. Certainly we know that the snow will be flying soon, so keeping your home heated and as cost effectively as possible is important. Thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. Let us know what you guys think about these stories. We always love to hear from you. It's good to see Pam, good to see Willie, Butch, Missy, and Jennifer. Oh, thank you so much for joining us today on the Facebook live stream, and got to say hello to those who might be watching us on their TV. Unfortunately, they can't comment, but feel free to head on over to our socials. Follow us at WNY News Now on Facebook, Twitter, the Instagram, and even on Snapchat if that's your thing. I know, Dakota, you're a big Snapchatter out there. You have quite the following.
Well, I don't have that many people. I mean,
you have more than I do.
It's just friends that I have mostly on the Snap Face. But, you know, it's very odd because I said for years I would never get a Snap Face. And now,
look at you.
I have one.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I'm never getting. and that is a Tic Tac.
Yeah, a TikTok. You're not going to get a
TikTok, Tic Tac, whatever.
I
don't see the point.
I've gotten sucked into those Instagram reels. Have you seen those? I don't know. It's basically TikTok, but on Instagram.
Yeah. Everybody's got a TikTok competitor now.
Yeah. So I've some of those are funny. I don't know. Some of the younger people, not that we're that old, Dakota.
Right.
We're not. But sometimes I feel like I don't update my Snapchat that much. You know,
No.
I barely update my Facebook page.
Well, you see, I think the thing is I didn't understand Vine when it was around.
Yeah.
So therefore, I don't understand TikTok. So that's the reason why. I'm just an old fuddly dud.
One thing that we all are pretty much understanding is the fact that fall is here. And there's not much we can do about it because it was cold today.
Yeah, I mean, it was chilly this morning. These were the low temperatures across the region. 45 here in town, 42 in Randolph, 43 Olean, how about 39 in Corey, 37 at the Mesonet site in Clymer. So it was a chilly morning today, and we're going to see at least one more night of these chilly temperatures, possibly in the 30s across the valley locations tomorrow morning. But we've rebounded slightly from that. 53 as a noon hour, a north wind of 7. As we mentioned, that north wind is helping to keep us cool. It's bringing in that cool air from Canada, and we have a wind chill index, believe it or not, of 51. So yeah, it is feeling a little bit more chillier out there when you step outside. So here's where the temperatures are going through the afternoon. Almost everybody is going to stay in the upper 50s today. Maybe once you work down in Warren County, you might see lower 60s, but there will be some sun peeking through the afternoon, but it will be a chilly day. So here's the weather setup. Here's what we have going on. A high pressure ridge right here. This is the reason why we're staying cool, because this high pressure is built in from the north. So that's bringing in that cooler air. So high pressure, you can see the clouds starting to build in, and really nothing in the way is going to cause us any big weather hassles over the next several days. Notice Future Scan does pop up a couple lake effect rain showers off Lake Ontario, but those are not going to impact us. But if you are going to Rochester or coming back from Rochester, there was wrestling last night in Rochester. So if you're coming back from that, you may deal with a couple lake effect rain showers. But tonight should be partly cloudy, but a few more clouds right near the Lake Erie shoreline tonight. Otherwise, basically just partly cloudy, and tomorrow should be a nice day. I think we'll see more sunshine through the day tomorrow, though, on Friday. After a very chilly start, we should rebound a little bit into the 60s. So speaking about that frost, here's what we're talking about. This is a kind of a new thing that we have on the computer modeling. This is called frost probability, and it tries to show you where the best chance of frost will be. So as we run this through the next several hours here, notice really nothing through the day, but notice as we get into Friday morning, notice where this blue area is popping up here. That's about 40, 50, 60% chance of seeing frost developing, and it's mainly going to be across the valley locations, basically of the southern tier, where temperatures will dip into the mid to upper 30s today. In fact, 37 in the deepest valleys to 50 at the lakeshore. Wide range of temperatures because of the cloud cover, otherwise partly cloudy. Now, the next 7 days of your life are right on the screen, and we should rebound Friday. Minty fresh 64. Hey, how about 70 on Saturday? A good supply of sunshine. Sunday a bit rainy, also as well as Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but neither of the 3 days next week should be a washout, and temperatures will be getting close to 70. We'll take a break. Be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes! Make a plan today.
It's not just what we say, it's what we do.
Local first. It isn't just our slogan. It's our mindset every single day. So whether you're watching our daily live streams or staying up to date with reports on our website and mobile app, you'll always see the same attention to detail from reporters who passionately care about our community, who have one goal in mind: to always put the facts first.
For me, it's more than just getting the forecast right. What I love the most about my job is that I come into work every day to help break down the weather letting people know how this is going to impact their day. We take pride that First Defense Weather is the only local weather team in the Southern Tier. We don't just copy and paste our weather from outside sources. Every part of our forecast is handmade right here in-house, something our team really takes pride in.
What matters to you matters to us. Every story, every day. WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Do you smell that? Stink bugs. They are invading homes this fall, and they're known to thrive in warmer months, but residents now starting to spot them in their homes during the colder months too. Keelan Berrien with our news partner Erie News Now has more on how this little bug is causing problems this time of year here in New York and Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania has had its fair share of insect appearances with killer hornets, armyworms, and now stink bugs. These insects normally appear in the warmer months, but find a way into residents' homes for the fall and winter. Jeremy Bannister with Bigfoot Pest Controls receives a lot of these calls.
Customers they call me in the spring thinking, hey, I've got stink bugs, can you control this? When in reality, they need to treat it in the fall.
Originally, we have 20 different native stink bugs to name, but the most common found in Pennsylvania are the brown marmorated. They migrated from Asian regions in the 1990s and flourished in North America. These specific stink bugs can't be controlled naturally because they have no natural enemies. The brown marmorated are considered invasive because they appear in residents' homes to hibernate and stay warm in the winter. Entomologist Greg Crotchef tells us more.
Native stink bugs do not come to houses. Native stink bugs are overwintering completely in the wild. Okay. If you start seeing stink bugs coming to your house, the chance is in 95% chance is that, or 98% chance that this is brown marmorated stink bug.
And stink bugs gather in crowds. When residents notice them, they are individuals in windowsills and small crevices. They feed on different plants, fruits, and vegetables. And according to Crotchef, when the bugs feed, they don't kill products but only cause a slight injury.
The way stink bug cause injury, it inserts in its mouth part a stylet into the fruit or vegetable or leaf or bark, suck some juices out, and that's it.
To keep your home under control, Bannister says to spray in the warmer months so they aren't present for the winter.
If there's frost on the ground, you've waited too long. So typically when we do a stink bug job, we'll also add on spiders or the other fall pests, so that way the customer's getting more for their money.
Now, Greg Crotchef did mention to me that these stink bugs will not harm you or attack you in any way, but honestly, who would want to dodge these stink bugs all day long in your home or even smell them after being smashed? Keelan Berrien, Erie News Now.
Keelan, thank you. Yeah, totally agree. Nobody wants a stink bug in their house, I think, no matter what time of the year. But I do know, like wintertime especially, the first time we turn our heat on, I feel like the bugs come out of the woodwork. They're just looking for a better home, I suppose.
Yeah, they're all hibernating, and you see, the way I try to get rid of a stink bug is I try to reason with it. You see, I just get down and I talk to it and be like, look, I'd like you to leave,
and I don't want to squish you.
So please, just go back the way you came from, and please leave.
And these bugs are pretty scary.
Leave, I will take the vacuum cleaner and suck it up with the hose.
That's the best thing to do. Vacuum, or my girlfriend, she's fearless. But when it comes to stink bugs, melts at the knees. We were watching Keelan's report last night on Erie News Now, and she couldn't watch it. She had to go in the other room because she can't stand these guys. And I always take a tissue and I flush them down the toilet. Let us know, how do you guys get rid of stink bugs in the comments down below? But they're definitely prehistoric looking things. I mean, they are ugly little things. So
you see, I don't know, in terms of creepy crawlies, I don't know what's uglier, stink bugs or cockroaches?
Oh, God. I'd have to vote cockroach. I couldn't do a cockroach.
Oh.
Well, that's it for us today. Now that we've discussed it,
Yeah.
hopefully you'll come back tomorrow for our TGIF edition. We'll have a new pet of the week. We'll leave you this live look over Randolph. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.